Good evening and welcome to the Simply Colorful FiberCast. Today's date is August 24th, 2018. My name is Lynn and I'm your host. Welcome. We have another wonderful hour set aside for us to do whatever we want to do related to fiber. Possibly. You can do anything you want. I'm going to quilt. In fact, I'm going to work on my Dear Jane quilt. So grab a project and let's see what we can get done in the next 60 minutes. I am making breadbasket E7. And I'm going to show you a picture of it, and then we're going to do paper piecing. Throughout the hour, send me pictures of what you're working on so I can share them with everyone here. Send them to Lynn at simplycolorful.com. And this is the block we're going to make, the E7 breadbasket. These are, of course, in the 1863 colors that Jane Stickle made up in Vermont. I'm doing a beach-themed version of the Dear Jane quilt, and I've been working on it since 2012, and I have a goal of finishing it by 2020. So can follow along if you will, and start your own if you have any inclination. I'm using this green. Last week we used a darker green, or 2 weeks ago, because I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. I'm dying to hear what you're doing and tell you what I've been doing. But I'm going to use up these green scraps and then this white. And again, it's paper piecing. I've cut out, I need 6 straight pieces, and I've got them cut out here. And then I need lots of little pieces that I'm going to piece together. I did want to get my glue stick, so I'm going to look for my glue stick. While I do that, check out the map of the vineyard. You can see the binding's not done, but this is the map quilt that I started making in Tim Natar's class that we took with the Marathon Quilters. And I did not get it finished for either the Ag Fair down at the Vineyard or for our upcoming quilt show, but that's okay. I did finish a lot of things and I feel good about those. The place is a mess still. I know I said that last time. There's a pencil if we need it. I'm just looking for my glue stick. Again, send your pictures of what you're working on. I'll be right back. I'm just going to get my glue stick. Where are you, glue stick? Here it is. I found it. I never used to use these, but I've discovered I like them. Okay, so the reason I like them is I can get more precise piecing. I've got my Panasonic iron here. I'll show you what I'm going to use my glue stick for, which in theory, I shouldn't have to do this, but it's how I like to do it, because then I don't have to fussy cut with my rotary cutter. So I've glued that one piece on. Do I really want to do this? Yeah, I'm going to do it for all of them. And then I'm going to cut. Again, you don't really have to do it this way. Shouldn't have to. Make sure I get the right sides of this. It's white on white fabric, if you'll recall. And I've got probably 3 different versions of white on white fabric in this quilt. Because, true to form, even though I bought enough fabric at the beginning, of course, other projects get in the way and I need some white on white fabric, and I have taken from this project. Okay, so one more here of these 6. You see what I'm doing here? And it's hard to see on white, I know. But at least these are ready to cut out. And I'll use the scraps in my other piecing. So there's one unit done to the right size. So I entered. So let me tell you about the ag fair down at the Vineyard. It was a great time. So well done. It was hot the first few days, and then it sprinkled and was cloudy one of the days, but there was so much entertainment outside of the fairgrounds, and there was lots going on in the hall. So for anyone who might be involved in ag fairs, you know, a lot of it is about the vegetables and fruits that we grow. It's connected with 4-H again. It's a fair that's been around, I think it was 157 years this year. And it's one that we've been going to since I was little. My mom's been going to and working at, and she introduced me. So Mom, if you're out there, thanks for introducing me more to the fair. I kind of was a stand-in for my sister, who's a natural at the fair. And I did some organizing of categories for the judges. I did not judge the quilts this year, and that was okay. It was kind of a new set of people at the fair, and I wasn't there last year, of course, and someone else stepped in, and that is just fine. I hear it went really well, so that's all that matters, and new ideas are always welcome, right? So anywho, I did enter a couple of quilts. I got one honorable mention on my poinsettia basket quilt. So Becca, thank you for encouraging that. The one that I colored in with crayon and then embroidered. So that was fun. Okay, there are my 6 pieces. Now, I want to keep some of these good. Remember when you're paper piecing, what do we say? In addition to putting our stitch length down, make sure to look at the numbers. I don't know if you can see that. See how it goes 1, 2, 3, 4? When I'm piecing, I need to piece in that order. 2. And as you know, my sister is old hat, and she's a pro with this. I can do it too. Okay. There's that. And then one of these across the green. Okay, I have my stitch length down. Let's see if we got our first one sewn right. Is everyone getting ready for the brown bags challenge? Leah, if you're out there, I am so sorry. I asked you for your last name, which I can't believe I didn't remember your last name and recognize it associated with Leah. I see people's online persona or your name is short, and I somehow didn't connect the two. So anyway, Leah and I were exchanging emails, and I put her brown bag all together, and I addressed it, and then I proceeded to go away on vacation and leave it in my car and travel around with it in my car all week. So I did put stamps on it yesterday, hopefully the day before. So it is en route, and I'm sorry it's late. And for anyone else, any other patrons out there, you should by now, unless you're in Tanzania, or maybe the Guernsey Isles, Anne, or Yorkshire, you should have received your brown bag, and it will look like this. If you've not, send me an email, okay? And as a reminder, the way you get your brown bag is you become a patron of Simply Colorful. And it's a mystery quilt that we're going to start on September 7th. This has the swatch for the mystery quilt we're going to make. So you have all the colors that you're going to use. It has yardage requirements, and it has one piece of fabric that you'll use in your quilt. And that's all I'm telling you. And the rest of the clues will be posted on Patreon every Friday morning. So it's quite exciting. We've been doing this for a while, and I get just as excited now as I did at the very beginning. And I know I've said this to many of you. I get more done when we have tight schedules, which I'm sure people could, I'm sure there are reasons for that. And I'm sure I miss a lot of things, and I don't do a lot of things because I'm always too busy, but it's kind of how I roll right now. Okay. So there's one piece. You notice I was finger pressing it. Okay, and now while I have it right here and it's fresh and pressed, okay, this is for real. I'm going to get us a boom camera. Be more interesting than watching me from afar. I want you to watch the piecing. Isn't that cool? It's feeling like fall outside. Okay, so there's one. Let's put that there. Let's keep going with these. Using these scraps. So again, if you're out there, send a text or anything to Lynn at simplycolorful.com. And we will show your pictures. I can hear the peepers out there. Okay. Oh, and Katie and BJ and June, your quilts are either, Katie, yours is on its way back. I sent it today. BJ, yours are going on the frame this weekend. And June, yours are going on next week. So all good in the neighborhood. Oh, it's so fun. I haven't been back doing any paper piecing for weeks. Oh, speaking of which, my sister at the fair, her rooster, her paper pieced rooster got a first place. The judges said, beautifully done, the execution, and her color palette was very good. Isn't that nice? In fact, I wonder if I have a picture of that. That might be fun to show here. I have stuff everywhere, don't I? I've taken to wearing these at night, not all night, but when I go into bed and I plug in my iPad, that way I can hear some words and not bother Bob. Okay, now, we're looking for pictures and my sister's quilt. Her award-winning quilt. Hope I have it here. I wonder if I didn't post it. Hang on. Here it is. Look at that, huh? You see that? Oh, I didn't get the top of it. Isn't that something? So the judges said, yeah, beautiful work. Wonderful color work. Oh, I love that. Here's Becky's quilt. This is a huge one that was hanging up at the fair. That is a king size quilt. And ironically, it was pretty close to, remember this one that we made here on FiberCast? The basket quilt. So that was, I wanted to make sure you saw those. So send pictures if you've entered your quilts in a fair. I can remember in past years people have. After I finish this, I'll check and see who's out there. Okay. I have heard from Jean. She apologized for not being here tonight. She was going somewhere with her family. Oh, and she wanted me to remind everyone who is here in the Metro West area that Franklin Mill is having a 20% off sale tomorrow. So if anyone's driving by, happens to be driving by, and you have an extra half an hour, stop by. And you're getting double, filling the boxes. You know how Franklin Mill has that? If you come in and buy something 5 times, then your 6th purchase, you get 20% off. So here's how we play the game. All August, of which we have many days left, go in there and buy something at 20% off right off the top, and then get your box marked. Do that a couple of times, and you'll have a card filled up so that come September 1st, you can go back to Franklin Mill and buy something else and get 20% more off. Okay, so there are 2. And I said I would check email next, didn't I? Oh, I have to just, while I have this open. The draft horses at the fair are just amazing. They're so big. And I think they pulled over 10,000 pounds. The tractors at the fair pulled 14,000. A woman beat the overall fair record. It was very cool. Hey, KB! Speaking of KB and the rooster, she says, howdy. Happy weekend. I'm working on my crochet border blocks tonight. Is this the weekend for the Marathon Quilter Show? Actually, no. The Marathon Quilter Show is September 15th and 16th up here in Hopkinton at the Cultural Arts Alliance building. It also coincides with Poly Arts. And I was going to say Poly Hill Arts, but that wouldn't work. That's the Arboretum. Poly Arts, and then there's a Hopkinton Family Day on that Saturday. So, but thanks for asking, and I'm glad you're making your crochet border blocks. Those looked really cool. Shabby chic. And congratulations. KB may have some news to share with us. We had a good family week this week, didn't we? And I just put you on the spot, so let me know if you want to share. I should have rehearsed that before going public. While KB is contemplating whether we're able to share the news, the other news is a nephew had a baby boy Connor. That was very exciting. The first baby in that next generation. So my cousin is a grandmother, which is kind of cool. And I know many of you have already been doing the grandmother gig for a while. And I don't think I've ever heard a grandmother say that gig is not fun. cranking away here. Oh, I had a flat tire yesterday. I've had my car in the shop all day today. Turns out it was just a nail or something. They were able to fix it for $25, which just feels like such a bargain, right? But then I drove away. This is kind of funny. This was tonight when I went. Bob brought me back to pick it up, and I drove away, and it sounded like there was a empty Coke can underneath the car somewhere rattling when I was driving. And I tried it for like quarter of a mile, and I turned around and I went back, and thankfully the mechanic and the owner were there. Turns out I had a little stone, which I don't know how it got there. If it wasn't the wheel that they fixed, I don't think. Anyway, there was a stone on the rotor that was grinding. Great, right? Between the rotor and the pad. And of course, that's what I just had fixed. The two back ones. Cars. I think this is why I like brand new cars, because they don't break. Usually. This Jeep that I drive now, and I will keep driving it, don't worry. When I first got it, it had oodles of computer problems. But that seems to have gone away. There are lots of recalls, which is really, you go in and they upgrade the software. Oh, I almost made a mistake. Make sure when you're paper piecing that you put the back fabric right side out and follow the numbers. So there's 1, and here's 2. Okay. There we go. Finger piece it open, finger press it open, not piece it. Here. Put these little pieces for the center. If I were smart, I would flag piece these and do many at once, but I'm not doing that. KB, it was so good to see you. Oh, and thank you for the puzzle. Mom and I thoroughly enjoyed that. KB, when she swung through town last week, gave me a jigsaw puzzle, and I should know the name of it. It had 300 or 350 pieces, and it was bright and colorful. It had cows, and it had big pieces, and we laughed. I laughed because she got me this puzzle that had big pieces. They weren't the teeny tiny jigsaw, but they were a little bit bigger. Loved it. Not too proud to say it. There's another one. Okay. So slow and steady, this is building up. Let's see who else is out there. Hey, KB gave the go-ahead. Our niece, her daughter, Alexa, up in Alaska, got engaged. So she is now going to be a wife. I can't believe my baby, my sister's baby, is going to be a wife. And what a creative announcement or proposal. I think I've talked about them. They're up at the salmon fisheries. I need to keep sewing while I do this. He wrote in rope on whether it was a crabbing or a shrimping vessel, a cage that you put down in the water. He wrote on it in this string, "Will you marry me?" And Alexa went to pull it up, and there were no shrimp, as the story goes, but there was the "Will you marry me?" question. Now, what I don't know is whether, I doubt the ring could not have been down in that cage. That would have been too crazy. But somehow he must have been, maybe he was standing behind her. We'll get the whole scoop. But he proposed and she said yes, and we're all very excited and happy for her. And they're moving. They're moving to Juneau. So it's an exciting time. That's awesome, KB. And her ring is beautiful. I love how that's set. It's a diamond. It's diamond, and it's shaped. Geez, kind of like a diamond, right? Diamond shape. Actually, maybe I can find it here. And it's set sideways. It looks modern and let's see. Oh, here we go. So KB, you sure? I'm blabbing this. Here's the cage. Will you marry me? How cute is that? And then let me show you the ring. Because why not? Isn't that a neat design? I like how the center stone is going along the arch of the finger. I just really like that. Anyway, sewing and diamonds. Who doesn't like to talk about that? Oh, we said we were going to talk about gardens too on our next few shows. I find that a lot of quilters are also gardeners. I wonder if you find that true too. I know for me, it's fun to put together the textures and the colors and over time. So it's kind of like you're making a painting with these plants. And basically, my sister and I watched my mother do this our whole life. And the painting changes every day, right? And you can alter it. Nature alters it. Deer or other lovely little vermit come and all take their part. And it's like living art, I guess. Some years, some gardens do well, some years they don't. There's another one. I think my front garden right now, which is behind you, it's outside in the front yard. I think the garden itself needs some fertilizer. I have not fertilized it in years, and I think the plants might finally be crying uncle. In one spot, almost either that or it's been a drought and I've dried them out. I don't know what. I hope it's not like a fungus or something like that. My iris definitely did not do well. And those a few years ago I took out because they were all crumpled. It looked like they had a virus or something. And now this year, even the daylilies didn't. Well, see, I think what happened is I think the deer ate every daylily bloom early on. And then I sprayed, and so that stopped them for a little while. But then maybe they got too, they dried out. I don't know. So the front garden needs some attention, some additional soil on top, and let's see if we can't rejuvenate that. The kale came home. Bob said, I think last night, can you go cut some kale for us? Which has been underneath that white netting that you always use to keep the moths away, right? Mom gave it to us years ago, and every year we fastidiously put that on. And I got two different 6-packs of kale. So I had 2 times 6 would be 12. So I had 12 kale plants out there, and they were all growing and they were beautiful. When I left on vacation, when I went back and went out to get some here this week, a couple of days ago, every single leaf of the kale had been eaten down to the bone, to the main stem, completely. And in fact, I saw some of that white netting had been lifted up. So, and then when I went to pull back the rest, moths literally came flying out. So Mom, I was thinking of you and thinking of your talk with Sue Whiting about the wickets and how we could use metal maybe to keep that down. Maddening. So we're working away on these. We have 2 more of these to go. Then we'll put it all together. Does that sound good? Okay, before I go any further, though, I've yet to get to the email, haven't I? Let's see who's out there. Hey, hello, Annie in Sioux Falls. Annie, who never accomplishes anything. Hi, Annie. She says, I missed you last week. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We were watching the fireworks, and thanks for putting up with me not being here. That was good. She says, I haven't been sewing as much, although my weaving is coming along pretty good. I did manage to get a Dresden plate quilt top done this month and 1 Dear Jane block. That's cool. She says, oh my goodness, look at this. Oh my goodness. Isn't that something? So that's her Dresden plate. And she says, I started a new adventure net last week. Rug hooking. Oh, seriously, Annie? Are you hooked? I want to pull mine out. This is the perfect time of the year to pull it out, too. It's getting cool. Tell us more. She says, it's something I have to do since I saw a friend hooking a run in 7th grade art. It only took me 40 plus, and I am not going to say how many plus years, I love that, to get around to it. I have to say, watching some of your past FiberCasts has given me the spur I needed. Oh, good. Good, good, good. You can do all sorts of things. I can't wait to hear. If you need wool, I have wool. And it came from Door Woolen Mill, but you'll get into it. I'm sure you'll have plenty of wool. Okay. Tonight, she says, I'm relaxing with some Armenian needle lace. Ooh, also a new technique for me, although I am experienced in most other laces. It is easy and it doesn't take a lot of attention. The rooster quilt is pretty fantastic, she says. Isn't it, Annie? Way to go, KB. Have a great weekend, everybody. So, this is so cool. Armenian needle lace. I'm thinking there's a picture here. Oh, you're rug hooking. Oh, my. Now, are you using yarn or wool? Oh, I can't wait to see this. And do you have a hoop? I hope you have a hoop or a frame. And then I'm downloading. What's this net? This is amazing. And this is the lace. See, I told you, Annie. That's great. So this is really interesting. Is there any implement? Is it like a crochet hook? Well, I'll have to look that up. So Armenian needle lace, so it must be a needle, your Dresden plate quilt, and your rug hooking. Wow. Way to go, Annie. Dawn. Hello, Dawn. Dawn says the attached photo is one of my quilt entries for the Marathon Quilt Show on September 15th and 16th. She says, all my entries are delivered. Sewing labels on quilt gifts, thinking I should see another Dear Jane block. Sew another Dear Jane block. I think you should. And this is wonderful. Dawn. Does this speak to, that speaks to me. So it is time for me, fun. Girlfriends are fabulous and girls just want to have fun. And look at, they're in a tropical paradise. Dawn. Oh, Dawn, of course, is our author. Oh, and I'm losing my things. Author of those quilting books. Look them up on the front page of simplycolorful.com. Dawn, that's wonderful. Oh, okay. Did I just? All right, I'm going to keep going here because I don't want to lose any more pieces. I want you to be able to see this all get together. Oh. We do a quilt show every other year, and it gets bigger and better every year. There's a big group of people. Kathleen, there's even, they were able to get a grant, and they have a month-long juried part of the show, which is, I believe, new. So it won't just be the 15th and 16th of September. You'll be able to go. If anyone is in Hopkinton, check it out on the 15th and 16th. They'll have a few vendors there. I'll be there vending, more just for the fun of it and to talk about quilting. Talk about Simply Colorful. So swing by. The quilts are hung from the rafters with care, and it looks like they're floating the way that they're hung. So that's neat. Okay, we're getting there. This again, for anyone who may have tuned in late, this is called the Red Basket Block, E7 in your Dear Jane book. And again, I use the software to print out the paper pieced pattern. You can definitely do it many other ways, by hand, however you like to do your piecing. And pretty soon we'll be able to put this together. Using my scraps as much as I can, right? Oh, I didn't want to do that. Scrumple it up. Scrumple is a word. See what I did? What else are you all working on? Those were great emails. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Annie. Thank you, KB. As soon as I get these done, I will go check for more emails. You know, if you want to meet other fibercasters, I know that like Sherry in Pennsylvania and my sister have met up, and I've met different people. We're going. I'd encourage you to use, so a couple of things, to use the Facebook group to say hello to people that are in the Simply Colorful Mystery Quilt Along group. Come to Missouri with us. We're going to the Missouri Star Quilt Company in January, and last I checked, there were more beds available. It's that Blue River? What is the theme? It's an Elvis theme. And I've been 3 times, I think. And every time I have brought my Dear Jane blocks, and every time I don't do it. So the question is, should I even bother bringing them in January? I'm going to try. So now we have 2, 4, 6, 8. We have all of these colored ones. I want to lay it out and see what it's going to look like. Oh, I'm recalling the last time we did this, I got all confused and I didn't even put the blocks together. Tonight will be different. Okay, let's put that aside. And now we have 4 of these. Well, let's just do this right now. So we'll do all the pieces so you can see what it looks like. Wouldn't be very fun if we didn't complete it. Okay, so see what I just did? I used my glue stick and I glued these pieces onto the fabric. Don't do this at home, kids. You can waste some fabric. So now I'm cutting it out. There's one little piece. We've come a long way from cutting up cereal boxes to make our templates. Two. Oh, we had such a nice time last week. We had cookouts with my cousins. And KB, we missed you at one of the cookouts. I think maybe you had one when you were there, and Ben was asking for you. Okay, and then one more. Sorry if the air conditioner is sounding a little loud. Okay, so now we have all these pieces. All right. I think I can do all of this. Let's get this ready. So again, this is E7 breadbasket. Here's the middle block. There are 4 on the outside. Oh, this one needs another little piece. Okay. Okay, let's cut this off. Funny how I missed that. Okay. Stay with me. Don't leave me. Okay. Question is, how do we put them all together? Da, 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 da. Oh, yes, and we need these. Oh, I didn't. Don't move. Don't move. Okay. 2 of these straight ones go like this. Okay. And then that must go like that. Here we go, here we go, here we go. That must go like that. Let's go like that. And that must go like that. Okay. And then this and this and this and this. Okay. Oh, and then it's very odd. Oh, I bet that goes in like this. Okay. Oh, they're going to be Y seams. Are you kidding me? There. Oh, yay, we're figuring it out. Check out those Y seams. And then we'll do this and this. Hard to believe it'll all shrink down to go like that. So that is E7 thread basket, ready to sew together. Okay. So before I go any further, let's check and make sure I've said hi to everyone. Maybe still have time, but I just want to make sure I say hi and show what you're working on. Oh, Annie writes back, the needle and threaded. That Armenian lace just uses a needle and thread for the needle lace. There's only one basic knot. It becomes addictive, she says. On the rug, I'm using yarn since I have a lot of wool yarn sitting around gathering dust. Perfect. My husband is making me a frame, but right now it's just on my lap until he gets that done. Wonderful. Good. Ah, keep us posted. And that's a good husband. Carol says, getting the loose ends. She says, hi, Lynn and FiberCasters. Carol is over in England. She says, hope you are all well and have had a good few weeks. We have. I hope you have too. She says, since I last got to watch you live, I have been to the Festival of Quilts at the New England, NEC. I had a wonderful day, saw lots of wonderful quilts as well as lots of wonderful fabric. She says, I only brought home a few yards. Good for you. Good, good, good. She says, I managed to get my red and black quilt finished in time to give it to my daughter for her birthday. I received a package from America with some fabric and an invitation in it. Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm glad you received it. She says, I have been quilting my scrappy garlic knot quilt. Today I have put the binding on it. I did it by machine and now I'm sorting out all the loose threads. When it's finished, I will be meeting up with a nice lady from Project Linus to give it to the project. Yours, Carol, in Yorkshire, England. Oh, I love that one. That's a great classic pattern. I would like to make that. You know what? Even I have my 4 patches I've started. That's great. That will make someone very happy. Oh, thank you for the update. I'm glad you're out there. Okay. Patreon Leah says thanks for letting her know about the bag. You're welcome, and I'm sorry it took me so long. Should get there. Oh my goodness, Kathleen! Kathleen writes, I'm working on the first and last, and she says in capitals, King quilt. She says, a good friend asked if I'd make it for her. I told her I don't make anything that large, and I finally gave in. She picked out fabric and said she didn't want it fancy, just squares. The problem is the size. I'm fine with making it, but today I started quilting, and I only have a small sit-down quilting machine. So much fun, SEW. Have a great week. Oh my goodness, I love the colors. Look at how big that is. Kathleen, that's great. Let's see if it switches. Nope. Oh, thank you for sending that. Oh, and here's her sweet 16, and she's quilting away. Aw, it's going to be beautiful. And you have a lucky friend. Oh, that is just beautiful. And what does it have, an R at the top? Oh, such talent. Really, you all inspire me. Oh, well, I would say, just want to make sure I've said hi to everyone. Thank you for emailing and saying hi. Let's see how we do this next. And do we do it by hand? I think we might do it by hand. At least these Y seams, and then I can come back and do these by machine. This way I can line it up. I think, let's make a note. Let's write in our diary. Because it's been quite the week, and I am just so pleased to be able to be here with you tonight. Thank you for joining me. Let's see, today is August 24th, 2018. It was a beautiful fall day here. We walked to post office to mail Katie's quilt. I should show you all a picture of that if I can. I have a partial picture. It's very pretty. How's that? So this is KB's and my friend Katie. She's coming to the Missouri Star Quilt Company with us. So Becca, you'll get to meet her. Isn't that fun? We did Nancy Hake's Meandering Circles in a hot pink thread, and it worked great. These are some other quilts. When you send in your quilt, I'll send you back some auditioned thread. So those two went up to June. This went to BJ. Just to give you an example, that's what, and I send that back to you and with some design options. And we go back and forth. Like BJ and I worked on a quilt a few days, and she made some great points. And we collaborated on what the design is that we ultimately chose. And it's on the frame right now. So stay tuned on that one. Okay, so what else do we want to say? I want to say Kathleen sent a photo of King Quilt. Annie working on Dresden quilt, Armenian lace, and rug hooking. She is an accomplishment machine. And you know that's a compliment. Let's see. We talked about the map quilt being done. Hopefully things in the world are going okay. They are. My Aunt Jane's birthday was yesterday. I think all is well. Bob's downstairs watching the Patriots, so I think I better go join him. I want to thank you all for joining me, Have a great week. Be creative. So send me email, and I'll see you next Friday night right back here at 8 p.m. Eastern. Bye, everyone.